Since it was announced back in May of 2017, things have been quiet on the Judge Dredd Mega-City One front. That was until August 5th of 2019, when Judge Dredd's corporate owner, Rebellion CEO Jason Kinsley, tweeted a picture of himself reading the pilot script for the in-development series. Sometimes, a picture can say more than 1,000 words, and this may be one such time. You see, the script, dated August 1st of 2019, had the somewhat ominous caption, "Replaces all previous materials." Now why would a script need to so explicitly say that? In this video, I will begin by briefly recapping what the Judge Dredd Mega-City One series is, and how it relates to the 2012 feature film starring Karl Urban, before moving on to the production trouble that would appear to have transpired behind the scenes, and where the series might go from here. "2012 saw the release of the Judge Dredd reboot, simply called Dredd, starring Karl Urban. If you haven't seen it, then imagine John Wick in a post-apocalyptic setting. That should give you some idea of the tone, if nothing else. The movie is awesome and loved by fans, but sadly, it was released by bomb factory Lionsgate Films, who proceeded to give it one of the worst releases and marketing campaigns of all time. The movie subsequently bombed, and no matter how hard the fans campaigned for it, no sequel ever came to pass. But something perhaps even better did, namely the series Judge Dredd Mega-City One. Announced in May of 2017, this was described as a high-end television series focusing on Mega-City One, the city of Dredd, and its various inhabitants. The series would follow an ensemble of judges, not just Dredd, and it would not be a continuation of the movie. It remains unknown to this day whether or not Karl Urban will reprise his role from the movie. The series would, however, be made by Rebellion, the corporate owner of Judge Dredd, so it was always on the cards that it would be extremely true to the comics. Rebellion even bought a studio lot all of their own, for the production of movies and TV series based on their brands, which they do have more of. They own all of the magazine 2000 AD, not just Judge Dredd. Working with Rebellion on the Judge Dredd TV series was I Am Global, who also funded the 2012 feature film Dredd. From the moment the Mega-City One series was announced, it was made clear that it would be a couple of years in the making, so it might be a while before we heard anything solid, like who would be distributing and more. That's fair, these things take time. By now though, almost 2.5 years later, we really should have more than a picture of the CEO reading the pilot script, which when you get right down to it, is all we have. We still don't know who will be distributing the series, or when we can expect it on screen. And then there is the script caption, "Replaces all previous materials." This implies there is previous materials to replace, which again implies some issues might have transpired behind the scenes. No one outside of those directly involved know the details of exactly what has transpired behind the scenes. All we on the outside have is pieces of the puzzle, and we have those pieces courtesy of our good friend Mr. H Reviews. His reporting on this matter need not be treated as a rumor, as he just so happens to have direct access to Rebellion and its CEO, Jason Kinsley, the one in the tweet. Mr. H has not only interviewed Kinsley for his channel, he has been in Rebellion's recently acquired studio where the Judge Dredd series eventually will likely be filmed. This doesn't mean he will be told the full details of what has gone down, but it does mean that the information that has been supplied to him comes straight from the horse's mouth, as it were. In a video posted on August 7th, he provided an update on the situation, so do check that out. What follows is my retelling of his reporting, coupled with my interpretation of it. It would appear that the main issue here stems from I Am Global, or rather, a producer on the Judge Dredd series formerly associated with I Am Global, one Mark Stern. Mark Stern left I Am Global to start his own company, Fearless Media Group, and for a time, the Judge Dredd series was listed on the website of Fearless Media Group as something they had in development. Since then, the Judge Dredd listing has been removed from the webpage. Those are the hard facts. But what lies behind those hard facts? That, of course, is known to those involved, but they will all be bound by NDAs, so it is not known to anyone else. As such, Mr. H's report is naturally not too conclusive on the matter. But he is of the opinion that it looks as though Mark Stern tried to hijack the project from I Am Global, and based on the evidence at hand, this is an opinion I happen to share. Considering the listed facts and that the pilot script emphasizes that it replaces everything that came before, it looks to me as if what we've got here is a case of rights issues going on behind the scenes. Not over Rebellion's part as production company, but over who gets to finance and co-produce. Based on the limited evidence at hand, I would be inclined to believe that Mark Stern, who probably was instrumental in I Am Global landing the Dredd series to begin with, felt that it was him and whichever company he represented that had the rights to Dredd. How could he have felt such a thing? This is speculation on my part, but I can see a scenario where he might have. Say that he did have a role in securing the Judge Dredd deal between Rebellion and I Am Global happening to begin with. In such cases, it is not uncommon for a stipulation to be added that so-and-so producer and so-and-so producer's tax shelter company must be involved in proceedings. Case in point, Spider-Man. Back in early 2015, after the Sony hack, but before the Spider-Man deal between Sony and Marvel was signed, outgoing Sony Pictures head honcho Amy Pascal knew she was on the way out the door. However, temporarily though, she did have the key to Marvel getting Spider-Man back, and what they would have to do in return. You will note that on Marvel's subsequent Spider-Man movies, Pascal Productions is listed as a production company. You see, after being ousted as head honcho, Pascal set up her own production company, i.e. Tax Shelter, and started producing movies for Sony, most notably the Spider-Man movies, which are Marvel and Sony co-productions. Since then, she has signed with Universal and severed all ties with Sony. Even so, I would not be surprised if we continue seeing Pascal Productions on any and all upcoming Sony and Marvel co-productions, even if she is no longer working with Sony. Quite possibly because a deal that included Amy Pascal had to be made in order for Spider-Man to come back to Marvel. I would not be surprised if something similar happened between Judge Dredd, Rebellion, I Am Global, and Mark Stern. Under this scenario, he might have felt he had a claim on Judge Dredd. I Am Global and Rebellion, however, might not have agreed. If something like that were the case, legal wrangling would have ensued, and the ownership of everything developed up until that point could be on the line. Let's leave the realm of my speculation and get back to cold facts. Eventually, the Judge Dredd listing disappeared from Stern's Fearless Media Group webpage. Regardless of whether that was something Stern removed of his own free will, or if arbitration helped him arrive at the decision to do so, the listing being removed does suggest he is no longer involved with the project. That the new pilot script so explicitly states that it replaces everything that came before also suggests that what came before was either disputed or that using it would involve cutting in someone they no longer want to cut in. Interestingly, the script only featured Rebellion's logo, not I Am Global's. Does that mean they too are out of the Dredd business? Perhaps. If so, that would mean Rebellion are back to square one. They can develop the scripts, but they will likely need a funding partner and a distributor before production can commence. In his report, Mr. H stressed that they already had the pilot script 1 year ago. That they now have a new one would seem to imply that 1 year has gone to waste. It wouldn't be the first production where that happened, but it does mean they still have their work cut out for them in finding the right funding and distribution partners. If they haven't found such partners already, I hope they will soon. Judge Dredd Mega-City One remains a series I not only want to see made, I want to see it made good. That, in part, means making it with the right funding partners and co-producers. They did not have that on the 2012 movie, and that was a big part of the reason why it never got a sequel. Let's not repeat that mistake here. Do check out Mr. H Review's original report on the matter, and let me know your thoughts on all of this, and how excited you are for a Judge Dredd TV series in the comments.
If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a comment, like it, and help share it. Or if you didn't, tell us why in the comments. If you did enjoy it, then feel free to subscribe, but remember to hit the bell icon to select that you want notifications all the time, otherwise YouTube might randomly unsubscribe you. Midnight's Edge is completely independent and devoted to bringing you the intelligent analysis of the inner workings of the film industry and genre media. If you like what we do, then we would be very grateful if you could help us keep the lights on by supporting us on Patreon or on Subscribestar. Our backers receive exclusive rewards and bonuses. Before you go, check out these other videos that may interest you, and our sister channel Midnight's Edge After Dark for more live shows and more laid-back content.